Hello, good morning friends. Today our topic of discussion is magnetic effect of current. This is class 12 topics. So we will study about the magnetic effect of currents. So generally current is having the three types of the effect. One is the heating effect of the current, another one is the magnetic effect of the current, and the third one is the chemical effect of the current. These two things, that is the heating effect of the currents and the chemical effect of the currents, we have studied it. Heating effect of the current, in chapter current we have studied about in the detail, that is the Joule's law of heating effect. We have gone through it and we have also derived the formula, that is H equal to I square RT. And chemical effect of the current, this thing you will study in chemistry, or you may have studied about this effect in the chemistry. The main topic of our discussion is magnetic effect of the current. Now the question arises, so heating effect of the current, it was very easy for the scientist to do the research in this field, because the scientist was having the proper direction in which path they have to study about. Because whenever the bulb glows, heat comes out from the bulbs, we can feel it. Our sense organ can recognize, our sense organ can feel the heatness or the hotness of the bulb. So it's given natural directions to the scientist to do the research in case of the heating effect. But whereas same was the case with the chemical effect of the current, in that case also the scientist or the person can visualize the chemical effects of current. So these two effects were easy for the scientist to do the research, but in case of magnetic effect of the current, it was very difficult for the scientist to find out the magnetic effect of the current, because we cannot experience, we cannot feel, we cannot see the magnetic fields. So scientists were unaware about that these effects can be produced by the current. So the effect which our sense organ cannot recognize it or cannot feel it, that type of the effect is generally discovered by with either accidentally or with the help of the mathematics. And this effect, magnetic effect discovery, was accidental. And in science we will find out that there were so many discovery which were mathematical also, because that things were also not our sense organ can feel it or can recognize it or can recognize it or feel it, such as the electromagnetic wave. In optics you will study about the electromagnetic waves. Electromagnetic waves, we cannot see it, neither we feel it. So the discovery of the electromagnetic wave was mathematical. Maxwell has discovered the electromagnetic waves with the help of the mathematics. Same, but in this case, this magnetic effect of the current, its discovery was accidental. Its discovery was accidental. How the discovery of the magnetic effect of the currents takes place, we will see through the we will go through the scientist experiment, what type of the experiment he has done, what was the name of the scientist, we will go through that. Okay, so in this video I am going to explain in more detail the magnetic effect of the current, how it was discovered, what type of the experiment the scientist, the name of the scientist was oersted, how he has done the experiment, and with the help of the in detail we will study about, and we will find out the directions of the magnetic needle. These all things we will study in these chapters. Okay, so let's come to our topics. So the name of the scientist was Hans Christian Oersted. He was doing some experiment in his lab, and so many things were, so many tools were randomly distributed here and there. And there was one compass needle in his laboratory also. Compass needle means it is made up of magnetic. It is made of magnet. Very thin needle is placed on a rod, means a small rod, and this needle is free to rotate. It is free to rotate. It can freely rotate over it. So this is known as the magnetic needles, and the speciality of this magnetic needle is that it always face in the north-south directions. We know it is the nature of the magnet that it always face in the north-south directions. So these magnetic needles will only deflect if a magnet is brought near it. If a magnet is brought near this magnetic needle, then it will show the deflection. Suppose I have brought a magnet, its north pole is here and south pole is here, then it will repel this arrow mark showed at the north pole, the needle north pole is this side, and this side it is having the south poles. Either there may be arrow mark, or it is colored with the red colors, means red color it may be colored. We saw that it is of the north directions. So when we bring a magnet towards it, there is a deflection in the needle. This needle will show the deflections. Similarly, if we may bring the south pole also, it will show the deflections. Okay, deflections means there may be movement in this needle. Without magnetic fields, that needle will not show any movement or will not show any deflections. Means if that needle is showing the movement or the deflection, it means there is a presence of the magnetic fields. So what happens in the oersted lab was that he was doing some different experiment, and there was a wire, and besides the wire there was a compass was placed besides the wire. Compass means a magnetic needle. A magnetic needle is pivoted on a stand, and it is free to rotate. This setup is known as the compass. Okay. So we may use the word magnetic, either the magnetic needle or the compass. So what he observed that when a current was passing through the wire, he saw that there was a deflection in the magnetic needles. But these magnetic needles can only be deflected if there were the presence of the magnet nearby, or if there were the presence of the magnetic field. But he saw that there is no magnetic field, there is no magnet besides this magnetic needles. Still it is deflecting, still it is showing the movement. Again, what he has done, that he has switched off the light, switch off the current from this wire, and this deflection stops. Again he passes the currents through this wire, and he saw that there is a deflection in this magnetic needles. So from this he concluded that this current is the source of the magnetic field, because when the current is flowing through this wire, this magnetic needle shows the deflections, and this magnetic needles can only show the deflections if there is a presence of the magnetic fields. It means this current is producing the magnetic field nearby, and with the help of and due to that magnetic field, this magnetic needle gets deflected. Okay, so this was an accidental experiment, accidental discovery, which oersted has done it. So here we see that when an electric current flows through the wire, a magnetic field is generated around it. Means current is the moving charge is the source of the magnetic fields. Moving charge is the source of the magnetic field, or moving charge means current is flowing, means there is a presence of the current, or moving charge is the source of the magnetic fields. So suppose there is a charge, and this charge is at rest. It means if there is a charge, there will always be an electric field. It will always create an electric fields around its surroundings. But if this charge is in motion, then there will be a presence of magnetic field. It will create a magnetic field around its surrounding, and it will also create an electric fields. There will be always the electric field will always exist when the charge exists. If there is charge, there will be the electric field. But there will be the magnetic field only when that charge is moving. If that charge is moving, then only there will be the magnetic field. But electric field exists either the charge is in rest or in motion. It doesn't matter. For electric field, what matter is that there should be an existence of the charge. If the charge exists, there will be the electric field. Okay, so this type of the conclusion we have got it. So now we will study about the oersted experiment in somewhat in more detail. In more detail we will study about the oersted experiment. So we will get some more understanding about this topic. So in this oersted experiment, before studying this oersted experiments, let us deal with some of directions. In paper, we know that this is our east direction and this is our west directions. This is east, this is west. What I am going to do is that I am going to rotate this horizontal line and make it as vertical. I am going to rotate it clockwise. So this line will come to here. So it will become this way. Means west direction will be in the upward direction and the east will be in the downward direction. I have rotated this horizontal line in clockwise direction and make this horizontal line as a vertical. Okay. Now again this vertical line is also rotated in the clockwise direction and make this vertical line as a horizontal. So it will become like this. This north pole will come here and this south pole will come here. So we are having now these directions. Means in horizontal we are having this one is the south direction, this one is the north, and this is west, and this is east. Okay. So what the oersted has done is that he has taken a wire, and in this wire an electric current is flowing from south to north directions. Okay, and below this wire a magnetic needle is put, and generally when the current does not flow through this wire, this magnetic needle always lie in this direction. This is the original directions of the magnetic needles. But when the current flows from the south to north directions, it shows the deflections. Means this north pole gets deflected towards the west directions. We are always discussing in terms of the north poles, in which directions this north pole is deflected. Okay. So when the current was flowing in this wire from south to north directions and the magnetic needle was placed below this wire, this north pole get deflected towards the west, because in the upward directions we have denoted the west directions. So north pole get deflected towards west direction. Okay, and now what oersted has done is that he has changed the direction of the current. Now the direction of the current has been changed from north to south, and again the magnetic needle is placed below these wires. So what he saw that this north pole, this magnetic needle's north pole get deflected towards the east direction. This is the north pole of the magnetic needles. It get deflected towards east directions. So what we conclude from is that if we are changing the direction of the current, then the direction of the deflection of the north pole in magnetic needle is also changed. If current is flowing from south to north direction, then the magnetic needle is deflected towards the west, and if the current direction is reversed, means now if the current is flowing from north to south direction, then the magnetic needles gets deflected towards the east direction. Is it clear? Okay. So now if we put this magnetic needles above the wire, so this deflection will be just opposite to this deflections. Suppose I put this magnetic needles above the wire, then in that case the north pole will get deflected towards the east direction. Okay. In this case, if I put this magnetic needles above this wire, then in that case the north pole will deflected towards the west direction, because when the magnetic needle is below this wire, the deflection is towards the east direction. And when this magnetic needle which will be placed below the, above the wire, the deflection will be towards the west directions. Means the case will reverse. If we are going to reverse the directions of the current, then the deflection direction will reverse. Or if we are going to change the direction, change the position of the magnetic needles, that is either above the wire or below the wire, then in both the cases its direction will change. Magnetic needle direction will change. If in below, if the magnetic needle is below the wire, and in that case if the magnetic needle is showing the deflections towards the west, and if we are keeping that magnetic needles above the wire, then in that case it will show the deflections towards the east, it will show. Is it clear? Okay. So this type of the experiment Oersted has done, and also what he has done, that he has closed the wire, he has switched off the wire, he has switched off the current, and what he saw that when there is no current in the wire, there is no deflections in the magnetic needles. So from this he has concluded that current is the source of the magnetic field. Means moving charge is the source of the magnetic fields, because when the current flows in the wire, then only at that times only there is a deflection in the magnetic needles. When the current stops flowing in the wire, then there is no deflection in the magnetic needle. Okay? Okay. So this is the conclusion. This is the conclusion we get it. Magnetic needle can be deflected by the magnetic field only. It can be deflected by the magnetic field only. Yeah. When the current in the wire stopped flowing, the magnetic needles comes back into its original positions. These things we have discussed it. When no current flows in the wire, there is no deflection in the magnetic needles. Moving charge or current is the source of the magnetic fields. Moving charge or current is the source of the magnetic field. These things we have discussed it. This was the experiment done by the Oersted, and okay, this was the experiment done out. Now Oersted has also given some rule to means Oersted, no, another scientist has given the rule to find out the directions of the magnetic needles. To find out the directions of the magnetic needles in Oersted experiment. Because we have seen that when the current is flowing from south to north directions and the magnetic needle is placed below the wire, then in that case the deflection is towards the west. And if the directions of the current is reverse, the deflection gets deflected towards the magnetic needles gets deflected towards the east directions. We have seen it. So there is a rule. With the help of that rule, we can find out the deflection of the magnetic needles, and that rule is known as the Ampere swimming rule or snow rule. So we will discuss now that rule, what is Ampere swimming rule and what is snow rule. So Ampere swimming rules or the snow rule both means same things, both are the same rules which is used to find out the directions of the magnetic needles in Oersted experiment. What does this snow rule says? That it is an acronym, south to north directions. As for south and for north, when the current is flowing from south to north directions and this wire is over the magnetic needles, then the deflection in the magnetic needle will be towards the west. Means in shortcut we have written its acronym. It is the current is flowing from south to north directions, and this wire is over the magnetic needle, then the deflection will be towards the west. This is the snow rule. Same rule, it is also known as the Ampere swimming rules. In Ampere swimming rules, how it has been explained is that imagine a man is swimming along the directions of the current. Suppose a man is, suppose this is man, I have drawn the figure, so you can draw a better figure. Suppose the current is flowing from south to north directions, and imagine a man is swimming along the directions of the current, means current enters through his feet and exit from its head, and his face is always facing towards the magnetic needles. Then the directions of the magnetic needles will always gets deflected towards his left hand. When this person is swimming like this, it means this is his left hand, this is his left hand, and this is his right hand. This is his right hand. This magnetic needle is getting shifted towards the left hand, means getting deflected towards the left hands. So this is known as the Ampere swimming rules. Imagine a man swimming along the directions of the current with his face always facing towards the magnetic needles. Then the magnetic needles always gets deflected towards his left hands. Okay. So these are the two rules in order to find out the deflections of the magnetic needles in case of the oersted experiments. So you have to go through these rules.